Pastor Julian here with Central's Devotion for today. I hope you're doing well. This morning, let's take a look at Deuteronomy chapter 4, verses 24. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. For the Lord your God is a consuming fire, a jealous God. There's been a problem for a long time in our world where people will wander from God and start seeking false gods and other things, other idols. And this is an issue that you see happening with Israel and all the nations throughout Scripture. But also throughout Scripture, we see God taking these false gods and proving them to be false and showing that He is God. He is the one and only God, all-powerful. And so we see it happening from the beginning of Scripture all the way through the end of Scripture, whether it's in a story where you see a direct confrontation like the one that we're about to look into this Sunday as we analyze 1 Kings chapter 18 and Elijah and the 450 prophets of Baal and how God handles that with his fire coming down and consuming this sacrifice with all these obstacles in its way. That is a wonderful, perfect example. It might be that way that the Scripture is telling, or it might be another way, like when Jesus calms the storm, showing that He is God. He is the one who has power and control over the weather, over the sea, over water. So we see this the plagues that are given in Exodus are basically God saying, I'm in control of this, your God is false. I'm in control of this, your God is false. All the way down through Ra, the sun god. And last week we heard a sermon on Samson. The story of Samson and Delilah, where where Delilah deceives Samson and has his hair cut and his power lost. And the Philistines seized him and brought him to their temple of Dagon. Dagon is supposedly in the ancient Near East like the father of all the other gods, and he's got looks like a merman, like with a fish tail and stuff. But they take Samson, they gouge out his eyes, put him in the front of the temple where the pillars are, and they have people gathering to show that Dagon is potent. He is superior to the God Yahweh of the Israelites. As Samson, the judge, to one of the rulers of Israel, is there. This strong, epic man has been taken low by their god Dagon, and so they have him chained there, and they bring him out for the entertainment area. But it says that it's so that they could see that Dagon was greater, and then finally Samson, who is a very flawed man, turns to God as he is afflicted and humiliated. He finally turns to God and he asks him for vengeance. And God does it. But it doesn't do it necessarily to avenge or revenge Samson. The big issue here is that they are using Samson to show that Dagon is potent, Yahweh is not. And so God gives Samson his strength, and he pushes the pillars out, and the entire temple falls in the building, and everybody in it who worships Dagon is dead. And so at the end of it, more people died in that than Samson had killed in his life. But it showed that Yahweh is God. There's all kinds of stories in Scripture, and this is one of them, where 450 prophets of Baal come and are doing everything they can to get Baal, who is supposed to be in some traditions the son of Dagon, but also the most powerful of these Middle Eastern, ancient Near Eastern gods. And so Baal, who many in Israel have turned to and worship Baal, and they might entertain, Yahweh, because it's tradition, he's been there a while. And so they worship Baal, they worship Yahweh, there's multiple. God only wants you to worship him. And he wants to bring his people back to him. And so he uses Elijah. These 450 prophets of Baal fail in getting Baal to consume this sacrifice. Baal, who's supposed to control weather and fertility and all these things. Surely he could send a little lightning bolt down to take the sacrifice, but it doesn't happen. But then Elijah goes and he does it. And after he completes rebuilding the altar, putting the sacrifice on it, and putting these incredible obstacles to burning the sacrifice in place, God comes and consumes the whole thing. And I bet you they knew at that moment when that fire came down, they remembered that God is a consuming fire. And in that moment, the Israelites turned away from their false god, Baal. And they said, Yahweh, he is God. The Lord, he is God. And they were so upset that they had been led astray that with Elijah, they took the 450 prophets of Baal and brought them down to the brook, and they slaughtered them. They get rid of them out of Israel. God, he is the only God. He is real, and he wants you. He wants you. Enjoy reading Scripture and seeing God cross each of these false gods off the list, taking them down. God bless you and have a great day.